Dear Diary, I quit my six-figure job today. I had finally made it into the tech world and was utilizing all of the skills I had studied so long for. I was in a developer role at an AI startup. My career was finally beginning to blossom. Being a startup, the job was stressful. My company was reactive, not proactive, so we stayed on fire. And for a long time, I loved it. I loved being the hero that could swoop in and solve the problems, to watch revenue grow directly off my impact. You know, increasing stakeholder value and all that. Fuck that. One time I asked my friend what their dream job was, and they told me they didn't dream of labor. I laughed. For me, things were so different. I loved to work, to have interesting problems to sink my teeth into, to roll it over for days and come up with a solution no one else could. I think I loved it because it reaffirmed that I was good, that I was smart, the academic overachiever whose parents always told her she was the brightest. It was my identity, after all, and who was I if I wasn't smart? But the more I worked, the less of me there was for life outside of work. I sold my soul for $130,000. Before long, this passion for work leaked into my life. I had no more energy to give. Not to my boyfriend, my friends, not to my cats, not to myself. I found myself saying, I'm just too tired today, and delaying my future. I would play video games or doom scroll instead, curled up on my bed for hours. I thought it could be sustainable as long as I took vacations. I had unlimited PTO after all. I traveled to Thailand, Japan. I visited friends around the US. But each step away, each day without working was a sip of freedom that reminded me that I was so thirsty for something else. But then I would go back again on Monday and accept that this was simply how things had to be, how things were. That life was lived on the long weekends, on the holidays. That I had to work a 9 to 5 because that's just what you do. But in the back of my mind, other thoughts swarmed. I didn't just suddenly quit. For 6 months, I tried to step back. I tried to care less at work, to only give them what they paid for. But I still couldn't shake the anxiety of stepping away from my desk for too long. Going on a walk felt like too much. Getting lunch with a friend was unheard of. I would constantly check my emails on my phone, scroll through every Slack thread before bed. If I left a problem unsolved at work that day, it would follow me into my dreams. I became a bystander to my own life. But at least I was good at my job. I know I should work to live, not live to work, but I didn't know how to break the cycle. For so long, I had been defined by the value I brought. I was always the overachiever inside and outside of the classroom. Every extracurricular, every activity that needed organizing, I had my nose in it. I was a busybody. And when I entered the professional world, I remained busy, always taking on more work with the most complex problems, lending my brain to grow other people's businesses. But now, as I approach 30, I find that I know myself less now than I did 10 years ago. My breaking point came when I talked to my boyfriend about my identity as a writer. From the time I was little, I wrote book ideas in the back of my school notebooks, entered short story competitions and speech contests under original oratory. When I was in high school, I participated in play competitions and assistant-directed seasonal productions. In college, I won screenwriting awards. But he looked at me and said, "In all of the time I have dated you, I have never seen you write." And I was shattered that he was right. So I organized a writing group chat with my friends, and we held a NaNoWriMo, a National Novel Writing Month, in December. I created a routine. Wake up early and write at least 250 words a day. Before starting, I built up the courage to have a brainstorming session with my boyfriend. Somewhere along the way, I had lost confidence in my ideas, and I cried before getting the words of my premise out. But I saw his eyes light up as he helped me brainstorm, and as Stephen King said, writing is a lonely job. Having someone who believes in you makes a lot of difference. They don't have to make speeches. Just believing is usually enough. And it was. In just 3 weeks, I finished my first ever draft of a full-length screenplay. It's certainly not good yet. It's actually terrible. But I put words on the page. Words on 90 pages. 90. I could now see a new future ahead of me. A new branch on the fig tree. One where I engaged my passions and devoted myself to practice, to creating, to growing. So I'm done with devoting myself to labor for others. For just a little bit, I want to labor for myself. I want to rediscover what I used to love, to be present for those in my life. I want to love the body I am in and be confident in taking up space. I want to exist in the world again.